I know it's easy to say, well, the Cowboys' defense stinks, and it does stink. But if this was a veteran team, okay, you guys both played on successful veteran winning teams, and I would think that you put up 44 against a Dallas team like that, you're kind of like, yeah, okay, we did what we were supposed to do, but is this going to be good enough to beat the best teams in the division, best teams in the conference? Can we compete for a Super Bowl? You tend to look at it that way. But when you got such a young team, young quarterback, young receivers, you're breaking in a lot of younger players, I would think, Stoke, that it just confidence matters, as you're trying to build something. You're trying to build your own career. You're trying to build something cohesively as an offensive unit. To be able to have this kind of explosion and to do a lot of good things, I don't care who the opponent is. I think it's important. I think it's necessary for this offense to get to where we want to go.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the young guys that, Troy Franklin, couple touchdowns. Pat Bryant, that was a great touchdown in the corner of the end zone. R.J. Harvey making plays, which, he has struggled here a little bit lately. Hadn't got a lot of opportunities. Now all of a sudden you get the opportunities and you go out there and you end up, finding ways to make plays, which I think is awesome. And hopefully you're right. I mean, confidence-wise, that's got to give all those guys a big boost. Not just the young guys, everyone. Offensively, hey, if we go out there and execute the things that coach is calling, we can be one of the better offenses in the league. So I think, that should go a long way, and hopefully it does, not only for the young guys, but also for the veteran guys.
Yeah, confidence. I don't care whether you're a veteran or whether you're a young guy. Confidence is confidence. And when you execute and when things go the way you plan, especially when you say, hey, man, we're going to call this, we're going to capture, the perimeter of the defense with this, we're going to do this, and all the things that you talked about, throughout the week of preparation and then Saturday night in the meeting, and you come out and everything that you talked about works, I guess it's a big-time performance. And things, even though, like you look at that opening pick that Bo Nix throws, he throws it behind the receiver. It's a bad throw, right? They go down, they get right into first and goal situation, and the Broncos on sudden change stop them and make them kick a field goal. Those are big-time confidence builders. Like, hey, man, we can be put in a bad situation. The defense has done that consistently throughout the start of this season, the first 8 games of this season. Bad situation, we're going to stand up, make a good play. And they've done that on a consistent basis. So all that stuff is good for confidence.
What did you see different in the way that Sean Payton called this offense, set this offense up? Was there anything different?
We didn't see a ton of screens.
Mm-hmm. Thank God.
We saw more shot plays. It felt like more, go balls. Right? Mark got excited.
Yeah.
We saw more, shots down the football field. But I think that's a byproduct of everything else. When things are working, you're getting first downs. When you're having success with the run, I mean, my key of the game was run the ball. And that could be pretty much every game, but run the ball. Have success running the ball. You see what it does for the rest of your offense. It opens things up in the passing game. And now you can expose a bad secondary. But also what happened out there. So I'm not really saying Sean did anything majorly different or changed a bunch of stuff. Those guys actually went out there and executed at a very high level. Offensive line, I mean, they were great. The protection for Bo. And that was the big thing for me. He had time to let plays develop and be comfortable in the pocket. So, that was huge because you saw what they're capable of doing when you do give him time and he's comfortable in the pocket. He was calm. His feet were perfect. He hung in the pocket. He wasn't getting out of the pocket early. So it was like, wow, that was fun to watch. But you got to give credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Because you had some of those touchdowns were well-designed plays that took a while, like R.J. Harvey lined up on the left side, filtering through the traffic to get over to the right side to be able to catch the touchdown pass, a walk-in touchdown for him. That took time. How about the Franklin touchdown where, he was able to run that double move and get wide open in the end zone? That only happens if, your offensive line is holding up and giving that time for that play to develop.
And why does your offensive line hold up? Because of the success you've had running the football on first down and the plays you've made on first down. They only had 8 third down plays. They were 5 of 8 on third down, 62% conversion. Why? Because they were converting on first and second down.
Yeah.
They were getting 8 yards a carry on first down. When you do that, you keep yourself out of third down situations. The other thing is you don't give them a chance to pass rush. When you're in second down and 4, now everything is open. So if you have a short passing game or a quick passing game and you're allowed your offensive line to upkick and attack them in pass pro, like they have to honor the run. They have to honor that stuff. So then it becomes easy to pass protect in those situations. Of course you're not giving up pressure because you're in second down and short. You're in, you're not hitting third down. Like that was like a college game where every time you run it on first down, you're in second down and 2.
Yeah.
Like that's how that operated. And great execution. Part of that is Dallas stinks. But, you got to give credit to the Broncos for the way they executed.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go out there and do it. And they were. They went out there and did it, which was fun to watch because, there's been some struggles being consistent offensively. And so hopefully this is something that they can build off of moving forward. But you talk about that R.J. Harvey catching that touchdown pass. You know what? I mean, that's a Chiefs play. That's what that is. That's a Chiefs play. We see them run it all the time. You watch the Super Bowl. This is how they close out games right there. That type of play. So great time to dial it up. Great job of executing it. And but it was like, okay, that was a nice, well-designed play and the perfect time to call it.
Broncos making it look easy. Perfect balance. You wanted the running game, you got the running game. You wanted Bo going down the field, you got Bo going down the field. It all added up to a very satisfying, maybe easier than expected win. We react to it with all of you. RamosLaw.com text line is open, 303-713-1043. Also on our YouTube channel. Subscribe and start interacting with us and your fellow YouTubers. We welcome Mark Schlereth back in the studio after being away last week. Good to see you, big man.
It is good to be back. What a victory. Did we not talk about the Dallas Cowboys' pathetic defense? It is. But hey, listen, taking nothing away from the Broncos, that was awesome. But the Dallas Cowboys stink. They reek to high heaven, and that's what you got to do when you play against a team that doesn't have a good defense. You got to run it down their throats, create the big plays. We saw so many explosive touchdowns, so many explosive plays. Man, that was fun to watch.
So are we able to enjoy it as much, knowing it came against a lousy defense? We talked all week. This was the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL, and they went out and proved it. So can we enjoy it as much as
absolutely
we like?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. That's still a really good offense. Still a really good offense. You had PS2 get hurt. You had to go with backup players in there occasionally. Like, hey, listen, man, this is a great victory. And by the way, that's what you want. When you play a team that's struggling a little bit, Stoke, you want to hang 44 on their butts. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think offensively, hopefully, even though, we talked about strength on strength. It was, our defense against their offense and weakness on weakness, our offense against their defense. But offensively, I think moving forward, certainly, hopefully you can take something away from this. If you execute at a high level, if you give Bo time and you can run the football, now it opens up that deep passing game. That's been I think the biggest thing for me this year is we haven't been able to see balls go down the field, explosive plays consistently. And so that was fun to watch. And a lot of guys stepped up and made plays, obviously. It wasn't just Cortland Sutton. It was a lot of those young guys made a lot of plays. So hopefully for them it's a confidence builder. R.J. Harvey, Bryant, Franklin continue to build off of those things. But, man, yeah, that was a fun one. Those, every now and then after a couple close ones that come down to the fourth quarter, it's nice to have one of those that you can just kind of put your feet up and Bo can sit out the last couple drives or the last drive. And but that was a good win, 5 in a row.
Stoke, you said earlier this year when the offense was really scuffling, you said, hey, they got off to a slow start last year too. and then they found their stride. Do you feel like, are you confident that the fourth quarter last week coupled with the 4 quarters this week, I mean, you're talking about 30-plus points in the fourth quarter last week, followed up by 44 this week. Are you confident that this offense has turned the corner?
No, not yet. I mean, you're talking about 5 quarters. That's it. So you got to do it more than one game at home against a bad defense. Now go ahead and do it this week. Got Houston. They got a great defense. They're playing really well right now. Their defense is. So you go on the road, you do it against a team like Houston, okay. But, it's not one of those things where you could just do it once and then all of a sudden I'm confident that you can continue to do it. I think they still got to get better. They still have some issues up front with the offensive line. But yesterday they got after it. But it just shows you when you can run the football and you can get the football down the football field and hit some of those big plays, what the Broncos offense can look like.
Yeah, I don't know how many explosive plays they had, like 20-plus yard passing plays and, if you call it 10 or 15-yard run plays. But I think it's 10 to 12-yard run plays. It just depends on which organization is classifying that. But Robert Saleh, defense coordinator of San Francisco, once told me, hey, man, every time you give an explosive play, it equates to about 3 points, on the scoreboard because explosives. And you saw them hit some explosive plays for touchdowns, the long run, a couple over-the-top passes on explosive plays. They were big time. And that's the one thing that we talked about is the explosive pass plays, getting it down the football field and how off Bo Nix has been on those throws. Man, he made some dime pieces in that game, a couple of touchdowns over the top. I thought that part was so encouraging. And, and they're hey, you may have a guy beat, but it's still an unbelievably thrown ball. And that stuff gives me, great hope that they figure some stuff out.